Med Tyra. If you're not, welcome. Let's get back into it. All right, so I have my iPad with me. I'm going to be going over pre-med basics. So now that you've decided, okay, you're interested in medicine, what should your next steps be? First, contact an advisor and figure out what they require, because like sometimes, like for my experience at Towson, you had to go to like a pre-med orientation just to figure out some more information about being pre-med or pre-dent or dental, whatever it is. So find out what's the requirement to join like the pre-med group or whatever it's called at your institution. So I find out that, figure out if your major will allow you to incorporate some of the science classes that you need to fulfill in order to apply to medical school. So there's like this common misconception that you have to be a bio major, and that's just not true. Like you can be any kind of major. You can be humanities. Like for me, like I was doing exercise science. You can do like physics or what else? There's so many majors. A lit, psych major, sociology. You can do so many majors, just as long as you fulfill the requirements, the prerequisites. So the prerequisites, all my information I'm using from the AAMC, just to make sure everything is factual and like it's obviously verified, because this is the institution that is in charge of everything. So they have this worksheet progress tracker. So you can make sure you're fulfilling what you need to. Most schools will say that they don't have like a requirement. They just have like recommended courses to supplement your courses, if that makes sense. So for example, they'll have your behavioral sciences, you need psych or sociology. That helps for the MCAT. Biochemistry is a must. Like that's usually maybe like the last thing that you take. That is like super important. Like I cannot stress that enough. Make sure you get a good professor and you write down, my ring flew off. Make sure you write down all of the pathways and everything like that. That's super important because it's gonna come back in the MCAT. It's gonna come back in medical school. Okay, so biochemistry, biology, like intro, and then some other bio course. It could be, I think I took genetics. Some people take molecular biology. What else? Anatomy and physiology 1 and 2. That's also very important. Did I say microbiome? Yeah, you can take microbiome. I really like that one. You obviously need like your English 101, like that's a requirement just to graduate. So yeah, and then college mathematics. So that could be statistics or I think I did pre-calculus, but you definitely need statistics. That's like recommended. I took genetics. That was really helpful on the MCAT, even though there wasn't that much on it, but like it's good to know. Humanities, I think that's like a college requirement, like a general education GE thing. Inorganic chemistry, that's just like Gen Chem 1 and 2. Good luck to you. Hated that. Organic chemistry 1 and 2. I had an amazing professor, so I mean like I struggled, but I understood things. Okay. Physics 1 and 2. I liked physics. No, I didn't like it. Physics 1 was easier than physics 2. Good luck. Psychology, that's pretty easy, and sociology. So those are the coursework requirements that you're gonna need for sure, and I highly recommend that you do that. All right, now let's move on to, I guess let's do extracurriculars. So you want to get some experience like with extracurriculars, some activities that you do outside of school or on campus, so you can join a club or organization. And I recommend that you guys join clubs and organizations as early as possible. And then, so you want to show some kind of longevity throughout your application. So that means you're you're joining the Black Student Union, or you're joining the pre-med club or the Latinx club, you want to join that as early as possible and then try and gain leadership opportunities within that club. So for example, I joined the pre-med community, I joined the pre-med club, and then I also joined the MAPS, so Minority Association of Pre-Medical Students, and then I was able to gain a leadership position as a chairwoman. So that was a really great opportunity, and it was like for people that are underrepresented in medicine, and we were just like trying to help each other out. So I did that. So what else do you need? Volunteer experience, so that can be like volunteering for whatever organization. I think if you're in like a sorority or fraternity, those have volunteer requirements implemented, so that counts. Sorry, my lash is like going crazy right now. Okay, I'm okay. So you can join, not join, but yeah, you can just gain some like volunteer experience through there, or you can look at your college or university, their institution, their page. They might have like a get involved page, like Towson had one, and that's how I found my volunteer opportunity through there. They also recommend clinical volunteering, which is pretty difficult to do now with COVID. So you could like go into a hospital or check online first, and there might be applications like Hopkins. I applied through there. I don't know if they still have like an application for that, but I applied through there and I got accepted for that. And you'd go into the volunteer offices, and after you've been screened or whatever, and you've passed the training, you can pick from the list of opportunities. But I never found one that I felt like would fit what I was looking for, so I just didn't continue with that. But yeah, you can do that. Just check in with other hospitals. They might have someone who needs like help in like admin work, or you're a transport volunteer, you take the patients to where they need to go. That's also helpful. You can have some great conversations with them, with patients, like interacting with them. So yeah, just in general, like you can be at, though this isn't clinical anymore, but you can go volunteer at your local food kitchen, a homeless shelter. You can contact doctor's office and see if they need help, or like nonprofits if they need help. That's all like great experience in my opinion. So yeah, that's in terms of like your volunteering. You just want to get as many hours, I guess. There's no like minimum or maximum amount of hours, but it should just be meaningful. You should not be going through this like looking at your application and just like trying to check things off, because then it's just not genuine and you're not really reflecting on your experiences. So it should be meaningful. Next, so we talked about volunteering, we talked about your major, and we talked about course requirements. Oh, so you really want to establish some relationships with your professors, so then you can get a good recommendation, a strong letter of recommendation, because that's required. I think it's 2 science professors and 1 non-science professor. I think that's what they usually request. And then if your school has a committee letter, then that could be something else also. So you want to establish these really strong relationships, and they should be able to get to know you and know who you are as a student, and like, I guess, who you are outside of your student role. So that's another thing. What else do you need? What else have I done? Oh, so now you need clinical experience. I am going like the CNA route, CNA/medical assistant route. So that's how I want to get more clinical experience. Originally, I was a PT technician, so that was like interaction with patients. So I think the number one thing is you want to have patient interaction, and you should have some kind of supervisor, clinic director, whether that's a doctor, physician, whatever. Or yeah, I think I would say that just to be safe, because it's kind of complicated. What else? I think that's like a good amount. So leadership, volunteering, course requirements, letters of rec, and obviously your grades. Keep your grades up. If you like falter on like one semester or like one year, try and show some kind of upward trend, because schools love to see that there's some kind of growth, um, um, like some kind of growth happening, like you figured out your study habits, something like that. You can explain if something personal happened. You just never want to frame it in a way where you're trying to make excuses. So you want to show some kind of growth. So yeah, have a great GPA. I'm not here to tell you that you need to have a 4.0. I'm not telling you that, because you don't. Okay, next. So I think I covered a lot of it. If I didn't, I'll include it in the description box, and I'll add some links to the AAMC, so you can get into like the anatomy of an applicant. That's what they call it. Now you've gone through everything I just said, and you're about to apply, which I'm about to apply. They have what is this called? The parts of your medical school application. This could be a separate video, but let's just get into it. Anyways, I'll just like briefly skim over it. So obviously you have to take your MCAT. I'm going to make a separate video for that one. So that just shows like your competency of like the courses you've taken throughout your pre-med years. There's a lot of debate about whether that is actually a good predictor of your success in medical school, but that's like another tea for another day. All right, so you need your MCAT exam. Next, you have your primary application, and that has mainly like your demographic information. It says like, according to this, what does this tell about me? It shares information about you, your personal statement, your work and activities, your college coursework, and letter writers. So the background information, that's like your demographic, right? And then coursework, you have to list all the courses you've taken and send them all the transcripts from all the schools if you've attended. So if you took some courses at community college, you have to include that. Work and activities, it's like literally what I just went throughout the beginning of the video, like all your activities. So what is it? You're going to be highlighting your experiences, so extracurricular activities, medically related experiences, employment, volunteer work, internships, and or research. Research! Okay, I forgot to add this. So research is optional. I think if you're applying to a research-heavy school, or you're trying to go with like the MD, PhD route, physician scientist, then you definitely need enough research. I'll do a separate video on like how to get research or shadowing experience, but you do need that if you want to go that route. If you're interested in research, then you should get research. I had research in sports medicine, in a sports medicine related subject, and I liked it, but I'm not doing MD, PhD. So yeah, and like other employment. So if you worked in retail, or you worked in the restaurant industry, like you can definitely include that, because there's something to say about that. So yeah, letters of evaluation. So they're gonna write about you, what kind of person you are. I'm sure you're amazing. So then you have your personal statement. It's your opportunity to distinguish yourself from other applicants. So you just talk about yourself, and you talk about why you're interested in medicine. Don't be generic or basic and say, I just want to help people. That's not good enough. So really dive deep, reflect on your reason for why. And then you can talk about your different experiences in your statement. And then there's a secondary application, and this is specific for the institutions you want to be accepted into. So it helps explain why you're interested in that school, your goals, experiences, and plans align with their goals and mission, and how you would contribute to their community. Then you have the interview. So it's an in-person meeting between you and the individuals for the medical school. And sometimes they can be multiple mini interviews. I have to do some more research on that one, but I think the premise is you get split into groups, and there's going to be different stations where you're posed like this different scenario, like or ethical situation, and you have to basically tell them like what you do in that situation. I have to go back on that, like I'll look back on that. So that at this point, it means that a school is interested in finding out about you, and it's an opportunity to present yourself, how you communicate, and your ability to respond to questions. So there's a lot of like videos on like how to prep for the med school interview. Then they have a social media internet search. So anything you posted online, they're going to investigate. So it learns more about your opinions, biases, social behaviors, and judgments. Interesting. Financial information. This is just like how you pay for education. So I might do a video on like Finance Fridays or something like that, how to save for the application process, for the MCAT, the fee assistance program, which is super important if you're disadvantaged. They have a cutoff. I think it's below 100 or something like that. Yeah. And then they do like a criminal background check. Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's the breakdown of everything. If I missed anything or I didn't explain something well enough, I'll put it in the description box, or I'll create a separate video, because I do want to give you guys factual information that's correct, and I don't want to mislead you in any ways. So my number one thing is always check in with your pre-med advisor if you have one, and do your research according to the AAMC, just to make sure everything is correct and you're not misinformed. So that's my little disclaimer. Happens to be at the end of the video. But yeah, that's my process. Like, I think when I was switching my, well, not switching my major, but when I was switching to pre-med, I did my research. I found the AAMC information, figured out how I needed to align my steps to graduate on time and fulfill all the requirements in order to apply. It's a long process, but don't get discouraged. If it takes you longer, that's totally fine. You want to be prepared. Okay? If there's any delay, you're still not denied, and you just want to be intentional and, you know, just work toward progress, not perfection. Okay? All right, guys, that's it for this video. It was super long. I'm sorry if you got bored or lost. But yeah, stay tuned for the next, I was about to say episode. Stay tuned for the next video, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.